who continues to say interesting things. He spoke up in defense of the Constitution over the weekend.
Constitution Day was last week. It's an actual federal holiday, but no one noticed, despite the fact that it's probably the greatest legal document ever. Mm-hmm. Is it flawed? Of course. It was written by humans, and they were all white men, as depicted in this illustration from Google AI. But how about looking at the actual ideas in it? I won't hold my breath for that, because only 14% of 8th graders are proficient in history now, and only 22% in civics, which may be why 4 in 10 Gen Zers say the authors of the Constitution are best described as villains. Wow.
Oh, man.
It's amazing, since in 1776, James Monroe was 18. Oh. Alexander Hamilton was 21, and James Madison 25. Joe Biden was only 30. America's founders, they were the Gen Z of their day. And when they were your age, they started a country. What the have you done?
Yeah. Jeez.
So, no, the Constitution isn't perfect because it wasn't written by Taylor Swift, but... And yes, the founders made excruciating compromises. Obviously, slavery. But slavery was a deal breaker for the southern states. So there would have been 2 countries. And then to end slavery in North America, it would have involved invading a sovereign nation instead of having the moral high ground of keeping a union together. Would that have been better? History's complicated, and Gen Z reasoning is not. They think they're pure, but they're really just simplistic. They know 2 things. White people did some very bad things, and no, that's it. That's all they know. That's what they know.
Really good. Wow.
Yeah, not only a defense of the Constitution, but of the founders as well.
Yeah. Yes.
Much appreciated.
I thought I was listening to you, Pekka.
I know.
I thought I was
incredible.
listening to you.
Incredible.
You
He went over
that.
some...
You said that just like that.
Yeah, I've said it many times.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, they were up against a rock and a hard place. What do you do in that situation? Do you not start the country? No. And he understands that. That's incredible. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, we got rid of slavery faster than anybody else on earth. Certainly faster than Britain did. I mean, Britain had slavery for 400 years. We had it for 75, something like that, at the very beginning. And then it cost us 600,000 people to end it. But end it we did. And they put the mechanism in place to end it in the beginning. They just couldn't make the transition yet. So for Bill Maher to understand and explain that, that's incredible.
Beautifully.
Yeah, without any left talking points.
Right. Right. To explain the complexity of getting rid of slavery. Nobody does that on the left. They never do that on the left.
Yeah.
And now the opposite view on our freedoms and the U.S. Constitution. The United Nations, of course, was in New York last week. The World Economic Forum held meetings at their Sustainable Development Impact meetings.
Oh, that sounds like party time.
Yeah, it just flows right off your tongue.
Sustainable
Development Impact meetings.
Okay.
Yeah, good things had to come from that. And here's what John Kerry said.
Listen carefully.
And I think the dislike of and anguish over social media is just growing and growing and growing. And it's part of our problem, particularly in democracies, in terms of building consensus around any issue. Mm-hmm. It's really hard to govern today.
Good.
You can't, there's the referees we used to have to determine what's a fact and what isn't a fact are kind of, been eviscerated to a certain degree. And people go and people self-select where they go for their news or for their information.
Can you believe that?
And then you just get into a vicious cycle.
How dare they self-select?
So it's really, really hard, much harder to build consensus today than at any time in the 45, 50 years I've been involved in this. And there's a lot of discussion now about how you curb those entities
freedom
in order to guarantee that you're going to have some accountability on facts, et cetera. But look, if people go to only one source and the source they go to is sick and has an agenda and they're putting out disinformation, our First Amendment stands as a major block to the ability to be able to just hammer it out of existence. So what we need is to win the ground, win the right to govern by hopefully having, winning enough votes that you're free to be able to implement change. Obviously, there are some people in our country who are prepared to implement change in other ways, and
so
that's
you're
really
questioning
dangerous.
really if democracy can survive unregulated social media.
I think democracies are very challenged right now, and have not proven they can move fast enough or big enough to deal with the challenges that we are facing.
We need bigger government.
To me, that is part of what this race, this election is all about. Will we break the fever in the United States?
That's scary. That's scary. The First Amendment is yes, it's a roadblock to tyranny.
Supposed to be. That's what it's designed for.
Yeah.
So I guess he's suggesting we eliminate that?
Oh, he's suggesting more than that.
That pesky Constitution needs to go away.
It can't be overstated. Thank you, Ohio. In 2004, by a margin of 118,601 of you in Ohio, thank you. Because if Ohio had gone to John Kerry, he would have won the 2004 election. That guy who hates your Bill of Rights.